Hey, y'all watching this interview on 680news.com. This is 680's music reporter, Rudy Blair. You know, I've been doing this for a very, very long time. Right back in the day when the boy bands, they ruled the scene. And you know, one particular, if you want to call them a boy band, call them a group, just call them artists, they've been able to really sustain the test of time. With not just, you know, new album after new album, but also solo projects. One in particular from the ever-famous Backstreet Boys really took his time. Finally, this week as we speak, releasing his solo album. We're talking about Howie D, Back to Me. He's here in the 680 News studios, my friend. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, my friend. Thank you for having me on the show.
You know, first question I've got to ask really is, why were you the last of all the Backstreet Boys to release a solo album, man?
You know, it was never meant to be that I was, planned it to be the last one. It just kind of happened. I believe timing is everything, and I've never been one to rush things because I really truly believe that first impression can be last impression. So I really did want to take my time with making this record the best that it can be, and something that really represents who I am and where I'm at. Stepping outside of the box of being a Backstreet Boy and being a solo artist. It kind of all happened, though, the timing-wise, because of the fact that initially I started off going more in a Latin direction with this record. I really wanted to explore my roots with being Latin. I kind of wanted to do something a little bit different than Backstreet. And then over time, in between tours and recording the album, I would work on my record. And little by little, the more I started working on it, the more I started doing some soul-searching, I just kind of felt like maybe it just wasn't the right direction for me to go. The fact that I am Spanish and I'm very proud of being, my mother being Latin. I didn't really grow up speaking Spanish as a little kid. Spanish was, not my first or second language. And as I got older, I started learning a little bit here and there. But, for me to really go out there and represent myself as a Latin artist, I mean, I could definitely sing it, but I felt like, when it came to interviews, I would misrepresent myself because I would have to, ask them to, speak in English, please. And as well, I thought, for my fans, we have I'm very blessed that Backstreet Boys, we have a worldwide fan base. And for me to do something in a language where, it's not the first or second language in, Japan and, Germany here, I just felt like I would be neglecting all my fans that are out there. And so I decided to go back to doing something a little bit more real to me, and that was doing English, with it being a universal language anyways, and doing something that wasn't too far away from the mold of what the fans have gotten to know me as a Backstreet Boy. So I kind of went back to doing more of my mid-tempos and ballads, kind of like the signature Backstreet sound, which they say I have this kind of sultry, romantic voice that the girls want to hear from me. And so I did that, as well as on the up-tempos. I did push the envelope a little bit. I did actually kind of go a little bit more in the dance realm, kind of a little bit more on the Teo Cruz, Usher, Black Eyed Peas, David Guetta sound.
So, when you decided to record this album, I mean, you had a chance to hear what your other members were doing. Mm-hmm. There's never a bad Backstreet Boy album. So when you have all of that going, and then finally you're saying, okay, time for a solo album, is there pressure? Is there okay, do you need to step up, or is this really just about, you know what, this is something that's been in me for a while, it's time to get it out?
I can definitely say it's probably a combination of both. The pressure that we have on ourselves is more the pressure that we make for ourselves, we create ourselves. And I think it's a good, healthy pressure, to make us want to be the best that we can be. So that's why I did take my time. I wanted to make sure that this record was not only, first single, second single, but, something where I feel like every song could have potentially been a single. And, I think nowadays music is a luxury. People don't have to buy a whole record. They can just buy one or two songs off of iTunes. And I feel like, I wanted to make it where people wanted to buy the whole record. So the pressure I put was the pressure I put upon myself. But at the same time, I really did do this as something that, I wanted to do as a little kid. I've always wanted to do a solo project. And, each of the Backstreet Boys, we've always supported each other, down the line when the timing is right for us to, venture off and do that, to, be behind each other. And so this was definitely filling a void that I had in myself, and also a dream that I've had for a long time. So it was more so, for doing something for satisfaction of myself, and also for the fans, because they've been asking for so long.
Now, there are certain types of collaborations that are going on in here. If I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, I read that one of your Backstreet Boy members helped you write one of the songs.
Yes, actually, I'm very proud to have worked with Nick Carter on the song Pure. We initially wrote it for the last Backstreet Boys record, and it was in the early stages of the record when we were doing organizing the sound, the direction, and everything. And so by the time we got close to finishing the record, we both agreed that it wasn't exactly the right sound for the record. So, but I told him, I said, hey, bro, I love this song, and eventually when I get to finishing my solo record, I would love to put it on. And totally had his support. We, like I said, we all support each other. I even, as well, on AJ's last record, I co-wrote a song with him on his record. So it's all about helping each other out. But yes, I'm very proud to have had the support and help of my guys as well with this.
And of course, a band that you are co-managing, Neverest.
Yes, that's even a song as well that I'm very, very excited about. It's believe it or not, my favorite song on the record. I've been trying to figure a song to work with the guys because besides not only being proud of managing them, I really, really respect them as artists and people. And we've been trying to figure a song to possibly collaborate on. I wanted to do some writing with them for their last record, or EP that they did, and unfortunately just didn't have the time. And, we were constantly getting asked by the press, you guys going to do anything? So when I was choosing the second single and talking with my partner, CJ here, I said, what, maybe this might be the song. I'm like, it has a pop rock song. It's reminiscent for Backstreet fans of our Incomplete album that we had. But I said, it even to me has a little bit of a vibe of Neverest. I could definitely have heard Neverest singing this song. And Cedar was like, I'm all over it. And then I talked to the guys, and they were all excited about it. So I was like, hey, this is a win-win situation. So I'm very proud that Canada has a little special edition for them where it's a duet here. And we just shot the video a couple weeks ago here.
How do you have time for all this? Recording a new album. I'm assuming that you're going to be touring this album at some point in time. You're touring with your guys also around the world. Also, co-manager. You got your management.
Mm-hmm.
How are you fitting all this in and still have time for family and yourself, my friend?
I think I'm a person that I don't need a lot of vacation time. Because I think if I did, or downtime, I wouldn't be right for what I'm doing. I really, truly, really do enjoy what I do. It's not to me like, trying to, squeeze things in or do this. It's something for me that, I really, I enjoy all the aspects of the business. I enjoy being the creative part of it. I enjoy, the pre-production. I enjoy being involved in recording records. I enjoy making the videos, being the artist. But I also, as well, really enjoy the business of it as well. And, there's so many different aspects to this business. And, I'm the kind of person that I've been helped in the past. And it's like, for me, as I've gotten older, if I can help other people, that's great. And it's like, I can actually even see myself down the line when, maybe Backstreet Boys aren't touring as much as we've gotten older or whatever, that this is something I can still be creative with by helping other artists and managing them.
But there's one thing I know you're not too thrilled about, something that actually happened to you a couple of days ago. And I want you to tell the story. Something to do with some noisy people in a hotel.
Yeah.
What was that all about, man?
Yeah, no, it was quite funny actually. I had just flown in from Japan, and we got in the day before we started press here, and unfortunately I was jet lagged all over. It's 14-hour difference time, ahead there, and so I was really trying to get to bed and to get a good, night's sleep to be up early morning for Canada AM, and planned on being a good 8 hours of solid sleep, and went to sleep, and sure enough, about 4 hours or 3.5 hours into my sleep, around 12:30, I started hearing some people coming down the hall. And I'm like, all right, no biggie deal. Fell like to sleep, thank God again, and woke up around 1:50. And you would have thought that the whole city of Toronto was right outside my door, including a good friend of mine, Brian Houston, who I thought I could hear his voice in all the crowd.
Oh, Lord.
And it was funny. I actually I tried just ignoring it for like a good hour. And then I was just like, oh, I got to get some sleep. I got to look bright-eyed, bushy-tailed for the next day. And I couldn't, and I held myself back, and then finally I just said I need to call downstairs and ask if they can just ask them just to, quiet down just a little bit. So they said, oh, we're so sorry, sir. We'll make sure that happens. And they went there and talked to them. Sure, not even like 5 minutes later, it's back up again. The whole party's going on. So I went and found my earplugs from the airplane, put them in my ears, tried going back to sleep for another 45 minutes, could not go back to sleep. Those earphones didn't work to save my life. So I had to call security again and ask them, and so they called up, and actually the people got into like a little bit of a tiff with the security, and were like, "Are you threatening me? Are you threatening me?" I'm like, "Oh my God!" I'm like, "The police is going to be here any second, and I'm not going to get any sleep at all." But thank God they actually had all calmed down within an hour again.
Could you imagine if you went out there and said, "Yo, shut the hell up"?
Yeah, right. My pajamas and everything. Yeah, that would have been a special sight.
Oh man, I don't know how you deal with it, man. But after all these years, you've done it. I mean, do you look back and go, "Wow"? As much as I always dreamed this would happen, you never, would think that those dreams would come true, and even more.
Absolutely. I think as a young kid, growing up, I always dreamed of being I guess quote unquote superstar or entertainer kind of a thing. But you just coming from Orlando, Florida, not being Hollywood, not being New York or here, you think it's just a dream, and to be able to see that my dream has become reality for me is amazing. I mean, I really am blessed that I've had the opportunity to be with Backstreet Boys and had an amazing career. We've going 19 years strong, riding this wave and this roller coaster as long as it can be. And at the same time, it's blessed all of our lives in many ways as well. I've actually been able to not only use my stardom to help me have a great life, but also to be able to help me establish things like my Lupus Foundation.
And I want to get right in that because every time you and I talk, we always make sure that we end off with that. Please go right ahead.
It's definitely allowed me to use my quote-unquote celebrity status to create a foundation and really get awareness out there for this disease that unfortunately took the life of my sister away from me a little over 10 years ago. And so I've been able to parlay the success of the group to really try to make a difference and get out there and make as much media attention, make as much fundraising that I can do to give money to research, and it's once again it's coming full circle around.
Fantastic. And if folks want to get involved, where do they go for lupus?
They can definitely go to our website, which is www.dlf. Excuse me, you get very out of that. There's too many different versions of our websites, but www.doroughh, D-O-R-O-U-G-H, lupusfoundation.org.
Fantastic. And tour-wise, what's going to happen with you, with the boys, and with yourself?
Well, actually, right after I leave here, I'm going down to South America. I'm very proud to be opening up for Britney Spears for 5 dates across South America: Argentina, Venezuela, Chile, Peru, and Colombia. And then after that, I'll be catching up with my guys, Backstreet Boys, for our annual cruise that we'll be doing out of Miami on Carnival Cruise Lines down to the Bahamas, where we'll be joined by Mr. Kevin Richardson for a beach party, and then the rest of us will come back. And then I will be actually planning right now to be here for New Year's. I'm going to be doing the big city TV New Year's Bash.
Fantastic.
And I'll be performing at that with my guys in Everest. And
that is going to be huge because you realize there are a lot of people going out for this thing, man. But it's also freezing cold, big time.
So I've been warned. So I'm going to get my biggest jacket that I have, and or if not, go to RW really quickly and grab a jacket. But yeah, so I'm going to be there for that, and then after that, we're talking about trying to schedule up some touring for myself. So I'll definitely be glad to be coming back up here to Toronto and the rest of the world with my album. And then the next thing will be the NKOT BSB tour. It will be cranking back up over in Europe and all over the European area.
And any chance for a new album with the boys too, whether it be with Backstreet or with...
That's going to be happening the first come of the year as well. We're going to be back in the studio, so we're fitting that all in there as well.
Fantastic. My friend, look, congratulations on the new album. And by the way, I got to say too, 100, I still haven't even stopped playing that.
Oh, thank you, man.
I love the track. I've been trying to figure out, though, that drum beat. Did you guys run that backwards or something? Or?
I don't know. It actually was done by some production company here called the Kuya Brothers.
Really? Oh, I know those guys.
Yeah, so I'm very proud to have a lot of Canadian love on my record.
Fantastic. Oh, I got to talk to him about that because every time I listen to it, I keep trying to, do they run it backwards? Or?
Yeah, I know, right?
It's a crazy beat, though, man. But again, congratulations on the new album, and thanks
you
for
very
coming
much.
down.
Thank you much. Always appreciate the support, Rudy.
And, of course, folks, make sure you check out all the other interviews on 680news.com, and most importantly, make sure you pick up the new album, Back to Me, Howie D. Howie, thank you so much for coming down to the 680 News Studios. This is 680's music reporter Rudy Blair speaking with Howie D, saying we'll see you on the flip side.